As the new Premier League season quickly approaches, I wanted to make a quick video about my predictions on the final table standings for the upcoming season. For my predictions today, I'll just be using a tier list maker. That would be the easiest, and I'm just going to start with the bottom three teams that I believe that will be relegated and then just work my way up to the champion. So starting off with number 20 and the team that will perform the worst next season, I'm gonna go with Southampton. I think they'll be the first team to get relegated, and I don't think they change much. They do have Premier League experience, but I think they'll go right back down. And following them will be I'm gonna go with Brentford. I think this year will be the year where they finally show some cracks, and they'll eventually be demoted to the championship. They do have Tony, but I think Tony will be moving on soon enough. And yeah, I don't think Thomas Frank can, keep, pulling out the results he's been having in recent seasons. Moving on to the last team to be relegated, I'm gonna go with Ipswich. I don't think they're ready for the Premier League. It'll be cool to see them play next season, of course, but again, I don't think they'll be strong enough. And from the reports earlier, they thought they were getting Emil Smith Rowe and Nketiah from Arsenal, but that didn't end up happening. So I'm not sure what their additions are and how much of an effect they'll have on their season. And then moving on to the bottom half of the table, here really can go either way. So the order that I have these teams in, I don't think really matters. However, I'm gonna start with number 17, and I think Nottingham will be close to the relegation zone. Again, they don't really have that great of an attack, so I'm not sure how they're going to be scoring goals. And then also next to them in the relegation zone, I'm going to have Leicester City. Again, another Premier League proven club. They did well in the championship last season. But again, I don't know where they're going to be getting their goals from. I don't know if, they have any of those X Factor players that can keep them up anymore, like they did with, Vardy and Madison. So yeah, I think Leicester will definitely be close to the relegation zone. And then at 15th, I'm going to put Everton. I don't think they'll have as much of a problem as last season, with their point reductions. However, I think they'll still be able to, I think they'll still do well, but eventually they're gonna, average out to being bottom half of the table. Yeah. And then 14th, I'm gonna put Bournemouth. They lost Dominic Solanke to Tottenham, and I think they're still waiting to buy a new striker to replace him. Yeah, but I don't think that will be enough to have him higher than 14, 15, that area. But yeah, pretty average season from Bournemouth, I think. And then following them at 13, I'm gonna put Crystal Palace. I feel like they always end up being around 13th. I don't know, I think they lost Olise, and I think they might lose Eze. I'm not sure if he's gone already. Yeah, Crystal Palace again will have an average season. They always finish around this area, and I don't think they'll be close to relegation really. But yeah, following Crystal Palace at 12, I'm gonna put Brighton. They always have exciting players, and they always find a way to perform well against big teams, and I think that will translate to where they finish in the table, but they won't be finishing as high as they did recently. And I think they'll finish in the bottom half. Yeah. After Brighton, I'm putting Wolves. They lost their best defender, Max Kilman, and Pedro Neto to Chelsea. Honestly, they should probably be lower. I might move them to I might move them behind Bournemouth, actually. I like that better, yeah. They lost some of their key players, and I don't know how they're going to fare this year without them. But I do like Gary O'Neill, and I think he could still keep them away from the relegation zone. But what's that? Are we at 10 now? Yeah, I believe so. Okay, for 10th place, I'm going with Fulham. I love their new addition of Emil Smith-Rowe. I think he'll be a game changer for them. He'll be scoring a lot of goals now that he's going to get more playing time. It'll be interesting to see how they utilize him, whether they're going to make him more of a central player or keep him as a winger. But yeah, exciting addition for Fulham, and we'll see where that leads them. I think they'll have a good season. They won't crack higher than 10, I think. But yeah, still a positive season for Fulham. Next at 9th, I'm gonna go with Newcastle. They lost Almiron, still have Isak and Harvey Barnes and Anthony Gordon, so still a solid attack. However, I don't think they're gonna be close to a European spot, but they'll still manage to give some of the bigger teams some trouble next season, and they'll definitely have a better season than Fulham. And then coming in at 8, I have Chelsea. I feel like they're gonna have 3 seasons in a row of more of the same. They keep changing their manager. They keep spending money like it doesn't matter on, kids that haven't had any senior appearances, and those kids aren't making a difference. So like they want their investments, to bring in a return for them. Clearly that's the strategy, but it's not working out, and I feel like they're stuck in this vicious cycle of mediocrity. But yeah, Chelsea in 8th. And then in 7th place, I'm going with West Ham. They have made some pretty good signings this offseason, and I think a lot of those signings will make a difference, and I think they will be close to competing for, maybe like a Conference League spot. But yeah, I think they're going to be an exciting team to watch for sure. And coming in at 6th, I'm going with Villa. Again, another team that spent a lot of money but also sold a lot of players, so their team will look pretty different for next season. But yeah, another exciting team, and I'm just really interested to see how Aston Villa and West Ham both do next season. All right, coming in at 5 for the Europa League spot. Actually, I'm not sure if it's Europa League this year because there's some new rules or new format with the new Champions League format. But I believe it's still Europa League for spot 5. So I'm gonna go with Man United. They added some key players to their defense, which if they stay healthy, I think will make a difference. De Ligt, he's a good signing, but we'll see how he does because he didn't really have a great time at Bayern. He wasn't that great, but I think he's still an upgrade for Man United, especially with Varane out the door. But I don't think they're going to crack Champions League football. And then finally, we've reached our Champions League spots. At number 4, I'm going with Liverpool. They pretty much have the same team. They have a worse manager in Arne Slot compared to Klopp. However, they're still going to perform really well. They have world-class players. But yeah, they should easily get top 4. I don't think that'll be that troubling for them. And I guess the surprise pick of this entire prediction video is I have Spurs finishing at 3. They made some investment in youth players, so it's clearly a little bit of a rebuild coming into next season. However, I think those young players will surprise some people. And of course, their new addition of Dominic Solanke, Premier League proven striker. He's going to score goals. Him and Son will be a very good duo. And I think he won't be as good as Kane was, but he'll definitely have strong scoring numbers next year, and they're going to be a very exciting team to watch. At 2, I'm going to go with Manchester City. I feel like I say this every year, but I think this is the year where someone else will finally win the Premier League, and I think it's Arsenal's turn. They've been building building this roster up year over year, and I feel like this is the year where it will finally pay dividends and they're finally going to win the league. Man City keep on buying wingers for some reason. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out. You know, similar team, like they're still super strong and like they're probably going to end up winning the league, but you know, I want to have that hope where someone can finally overthrow them and take that number one spot. And yeah, I have Arsenal taking that spot. You know, I have faith in them. Again, another exciting team. They added another piece of their defense in Calafiori. However, they do need they need more backup attackers and probably another midfielder to help Rice out. But again, I believe this is their year. They can finally stop Man City. Hey, and Man City also won the Community Shield, which is, you know, not really a good outlook for their chances of winning the league. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But I think this is a pretty solid list. Hopefully it's unbiased. I don't think it's that biased. But yeah, it'll be an exciting season, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top and, you know, who gets relegated. What do you think of my predictions? Comment down below who you have getting relegated and which teams you have making the top 4. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to get on side.